America healthy again. We are going to dive into this. It's incredibly fascinating, this thinly disguised smear campaign that is intended to cause, I think, politicize health and wellness, which is really unfortunate. And we saw this all throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, where our legacy media likes to portray individuals who are proactive about improving their health as alt-right extremists and fascists and beyond. And they do a really interesting job of creating that illusion in this article. And they have this pipeline about the wellness to conspiracy theorist pipeline, showing all these different images of individuals who, of course, you know about, from Dr. Mark Hyman to Marty McCary to even Michael Pollan. I mean, there's a lot of this is really interesting. And what really got me is when they go on and talk about what the MAHA movement is so scared of. Could you really be so scared of industrialized seed oils that are actually refined motor oil, for example, canola oil that has been just foisted into our food supply, that is now in everything from almond milk to cereal products to crackers, cookies, salad dressings, and beyond, that is repurposed motor oil. They talk about fluoridated water. And of course, they get into the evils of unpasteurized milk. So that's where we're going, my friends. I'm grateful that you're all here. I know a lot of you probably have Christmas parties and other things going on, other events. But if you have any questions regarding health, nutrition, metabolic health and beyond, please let me know. If you're enjoying the content, hit that like button. Let's dive into this article. I think it is incredibly interesting. So here we go. Here's the article. And I had to sign up for a short trial membership here with New York Magazine, much to my chagrin, to really dive into this. So anyway, I think it's incredibly interesting. So here's the piece here. What is MAHA? How wellness culture with legitimate concerns and some conspiratorial beliefs became a movement poised to take Washington. Okay. So they go into the introduction. They have the intellectual godparents, which I think is actually quite interesting. So they go on, they have the audacity here to talk about how 9 thinkers helped lay the movement's foundation. And for some reason, they bring in this Mario character who recently assassinated the CEO of United Health Group. They talk about the actors, and they really get into raw milk for some reason. They are these journalists over at New York Magazine seem keen on trashing raw milk and anyone who questions the status quo over at the CDC, anyone who dare question science himself. I mean, Dr. Anthony Fauci, of course, as many of you know. If you dare question Dr. Anthony Fauci, then you must be an alt-right fascist conspiracy theorist and so on. So what I think is really interesting is they go on to talk about how Linus Pauling paved the way for the illegitimate concerns that many of us have with regards to our public health institutions. Now, lest I remind you, okay, folks, if you're not familiar with the work of Linus Pauling is widely regarded as one of the most influential biochemists of our lifetime, of the 20th century. Okay, Linus Pauling was not only credited for discovering aspects of vitamin C and its associated metabolism, but has made numerous contributions to the field of biochemistry, nutritional biochemistry, and beyond. There's a whole institute that has been created honoring his professional career. So I think it's really interesting that New York Magazine credits Linus Pauling for starting to create conspiratorial ideas and beliefs. I mean, this is absolutely insane. I'm not sure about Lord Northbourne. I believe he was really involved in the early aspects of organic farming and regenerative agriculture. Rachel Carson. Of course, we know that pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides are incredibly problematic. And Rachel has done some great work in that field. But let's go on. You know, they talk about Ken Cook, the founder of the Environmental Working Group, a hardly a conspiracy theorist, someone who has done amazing work for helping to help us, the public, better understand the harms of persistent organic pollutants and environmental chemicals and beyond. Let me just pause for our new live listeners. Friends, we are diving into this article that was recently published in New York Magazine, which is a thinly disguised piece, a hit piece to discredit and politicize the Make America Healthy Again movement, which has garnered attention from people on the left, the right, the middle, libertarians, and beyond. Because as you know, there is a public health crisis. We have a chronic disease epidemic. Infectious diseases are no longer the leading cause of mortality and morbidity here in the US. And they created this image that attempts to discredit individuals that are associated with RFK. And I think this is just really disingenuous. Again, we saw this throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, where the legacy media attempted to discredit anyone who questioned the mainstream media, the CDC, Anthony Fauci, who questioned some of the asinine guidelines that were said that were objectively science-based, such as social distancing and the 2 weeks to flatten the curve and all the things with regards to mask mandates, which there has since been, needless to say, a Senate investigation showing that all of these various strategies that were evidently rooted in science had really no science to support their efficacy whatsoever. But that's neither here nor there. We are talking about this paper because this thinly disguised hit piece, they are trashing Linus Pauling, Lord Northbourne, and Rachel Carson, all people, and Ken Cook, who have done amazing work in helping us better understand how nutrients like vitamin C, in the case of Linus Pauling, and in the case of Rachel Carson and Ken Cook, better understanding how insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides can impact the health of the human body and contribute to mysterious illnesses and diseases and early onset cancer and autoimmunity and beyond. But my favorite part of this thinly disguised hit piece is this little picture here. In this picture, they talk about all the people that you've heard on podcasts before, going from down the list of the Petersons, Chris Palmer, of course, Kate Shanahan, who we've had on our podcast several times, Alexa Clark, you have Jillian Michaels. They even start to pick on Bernie Sanders, as well as Michael Pollan. You have Nina Teicholz, who we've had on the show before. It's really quite interesting. Of course, you have Russell Brand, because he questioned everything from during lockdowns and beyond. And you have in the middle, you have RFK Jr., the leader of the Make America Healthy Again movement that is of course designed to do just that. Make Americans healthy. We have some of the highest chronic disease rates in the world, yet we spend more on healthcare than any other industrialized nation. It's time that we take a critical evaluation about our food system, our exposure to persistent organic pollutants, environmental chemicals, of course, immunizations. What are these things doing to the health of humans, newborns, in particular, young children, and beyond? So, my friends, I implore you to read this, because this is where we're going to finish up on. They talk about what are the proponents of the MAHA movement afraid of? Well, we're afraid of a lot of things. And it's not that we're afraid of necessarily anything, but we're trying to encourage our public health institutions to put health at the forefront of their policies. For example, fluoride in the water. We know that fluoridated water does not prevent cavities because, giving systemic fluoride doesn't help improve, prevent dental caries and cavities in the mouth. If you want to prevent cavities and you believe fluoride is going to be the solution, you might want to use it topically in the mouth. When you ingest fluoride systemically, it antagonizes iodine metabolism, and halogens like bromine and chlorine, as well as fluoride, cause other issues with regards to thyroid health. They displace iodine, as you know, which is a critically important nutrient for not only just the thyroid biosynthesis, of course, which is a hormone that affects cellular metabolism in every single cell in your body, as well as other parts of the hormonal system. But we know that fluoride also displaces iodine in tissues such as the prostate, the breast, the uterus, and beyond. So iodine is a really important nutrient. They talk about pasteurization and homogenization of milk as something that the MAHA movement proponents are scared of. Now, of course, we're not scared necessarily of homogenized milk, but we just realize that there are better health properties associated with unpasteurized and unhomogenized dairy. This is how humans have been consuming dairy for as long as we have been consuming dairy, which is about between 5,000 and 8,000 years, which is how long cattle have been domesticated. From raw goat's milk to raw milk, there's numerous studies finding that when you compare consumers of raw, unpasteurized, unhomogenized dairy compared to children who consume pasteurized dairy, the children that consume the farm milk or raw milk have lower incidence of autoimmunity, allergies, and beyond. So we know that there's some inherent health benefits therein. They also talk about persistent organic pollutants found in clothing, found in cosmetics, found in furniture, flame retardants, found in plastics. And these are all things that we should be concerned about. But New York Magazine highlights that experts at the CDC don't necessarily agree with the pundits that are behind the MAHA movement, that these chemicals have been tested and they are no problem. The fluoride in the water is not a big deal. The CDC says, they quote in the article. Well, let's review this because, my friends, this is just incredibly fascinating stuff here. So here we go. Going on down the list here, my friends, and let me know how we're doing. I get excited about this. So here is part 4 of the hit piece. What are the MAHA proponents afraid of? Toxins, toxins everywhere. Yeah, it turns out that toxins are pretty much everywhere. The PM 2.5 data showing that our air is polluted. We have fluoride in our water. We have food dyes in our food. We have microplastics that are concentrated in the carotid artery, in the coronary arteries, in bone, in the testicles, in the human placenta, in feces. Yes, plastics are everywhere. Yes, there are specific health benefits that are ascribed to the consumption of drinking raw milk compared to pasteurized milk. Now, they talk about seed oil. Now, it's interesting because we've talked a lot about how industrialized seed oils have unique properties that promote the oxidation of LDL and other harmful aspects in the body. And they say most research shows the opposite. You know what? These short-term epidemiological studies show that, yes, in fact, guzzling corn and canola and soybean oil might lower your LDL cholesterol, but that doesn't necessarily lead to long-term health improvements. And we've covered the data therein. We know that industrialized seed oils are highly prone to oxidation and create probably inflammation in the body and beyond. They talk about pesticides. Yeah, we know that pesticides, herbicides, fungicides are not good. My friends, why are we even having these conversations? We know this is a problem. We spray more herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides on foods in this country than any other country in the world. I mean, it's insane. And so to question why we're proposing policy to reduce the utilization of herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides and ascribing that to being a conspiracy theory is just a joke. Ultra-processed foods, we know these things are bad. Numerous studies from independent scientists all throughout the world, from Brazil to parts of Europe and Spain, show that the more processed food you eat, the higher your likelihood, the greater odds that is, that you will develop obesity, type 2 diabetes, ADD, ADHD, depression, and die from all causes is unequivocal at this point. Immunizations, we can't talk about this on YouTube, But you know where I stand on this issue, and I think you all share similar beliefs. We should be questioning the efficacy here and also the safety profiles of everything, including immunizations, pollutants, perfluoro aspects. These are the polyfluoroalkyl substances, the flame retardants. We know they're problematic. So, my friends, I get excited about this. Sorry if I'm being a little bit loud. I know some of you always say that you need to slow down and this, but I just get excited, and I would love to know what you think. If you're here now, hit that like button. If you haven't downloaded this hit piece, just to hear what the media is trying to say and how they're trying to discredit those of us who are interested in making people healthy again. That is the whole point. All tourists here that land in Las Vegas or Miami or Houston, Texas from Europe, they can see with their own two eyes that Americans are not doing so well from a health perspective. We can see that. That's not fat shaming. We can see that. We see it in the life expectancy data. We see it in the all-cause mortality data. We see it in the obesity and overweight prevalence, especially amongst children and beyond. So what do you think, my friends? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm grateful that you're all here. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season. We have an event tonight that we're going to get to, so I'm going to part ways with you all, but I do just want to quickly remind you, I know the holidays are upon us. You're going to be exposed to all sorts of different foods and things like that. One tool that may help you curb your food cravings and kickstart your metabolic health improvements in the new year in 2025 and beyond is berberine. This is a natural appetite suppressant as well as tool that can help support metabolic health. You can check that out by clicking the link in the description below and using the code podcast over at myoscience.com. Again, just grateful that you're all here. I wanted to share this quickly with you. This article in New York Magazine is a thinly disguised hit piece. We're seeing more politicization of health and nutrition, which is very unfortunate. This should not be a partisan issue. Making people healthy. Why is that a partisan issue? Why, my friend? It's beyond me. I don't know why that is. But it seems that our legacy media likes to make health political. Everything is political now, but health shouldn't be political. You know, you want your neighbors and your neighbors' kids and your friends and your extended family to be the healthiest versions of themselves, to not have early onset cancer and dementia and depression and heart disease and heart failure and have a stroke and sudden cardiac death. Why is this a partisan issue? This is not a political point, but our media is making health political, which is really unfortunate because they do not like the people and what they stand for and how they are a threat to the establishment, to the food establishment, to the medical establishment, and beyond. And we're just here to help people live healthier lives because many of you have experienced the awakening that comes when you start to eat real food and exercise, the mental clarity, the alleviation of the dependence on the American medical system that doesn't address the root cause of common pathologies, the obesity, the insulin resistance, the hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and beyond. So we're trying to make people healthy again. This should not be a political issue. If you agree with me, hit that like button. I'm grateful that you tuned in. Have an awesome evening, my friends. Thank you, as always, for being here. We'll catch you on a live next week. Until then, have a great holiday season. Catch you all soon. Bye now. All right, we got to go to dance. Let's go.